Okay, I'm apparently live and my screen is really dark. Guys, I started this live stream on the wrong channel. I started it on the HOA channel instead of my personal channel. I'm going to wait for you guys to come in. Okay, there's two of you guys. Okay, so guys, what I was saying was I started this live stream on the HOA channel by accident, and it's supposed to be on this channel. So I'm so sorry for those of you who might have been over on HOA and saw the no. That's when I realized that this was this was on the HOA channel. So don't mind the stuff in the background. We just ate lunch, and I wanted to pop on here real quick we need to talk about this. I am literally being inundated with people who are concerned about the recent virus. We're gonna call it the virus because YouTube does censor the word. So there's that. For starters, those of you who are in our Bible study, I'm so sorry I haven't gotten to that this week because of this. This has taken mass precedence over my mind. Can't handle it. I'm going to walk away from the computer after this live stream. I have a quick 10 minutes to sit down and talk about this. So there's some important things. Please share this link. Please share it because we need some good information in the midst of the chaos. I'm going to provide you with some information that through the Franklin Institute of Wellness, which is the herbal school that I have studied through and continue to study through, and that they are having a free seminar. Let me see. Sign up for the free seminar. Let me make sure I've got the right link. Nope, that's the YouTube link. I'm going to share it in the comments with you. But I have some other things I want to go over as well. So for starters, the Franklin Institute of Wellness is a scientific-based college for herbalism and natural remedies and everything like that. They are hosting really good webinars about the recent virus. By far the best place you're going to get the information that you need. So I've linked in the live chat, and I will try to link it below, but if you're rewatching the recording, you can go through the live chat and get it. They're having a webinar coming up on Monday about all of this. And so I really encourage you to sign up for it. I will be signing up for it as well. And they're going to have some great scientific evidence-based information on there for you. So if you're trying to weed through what's true, what's not true, whether you should be freaking out or not, that's the place to go. So sign up for it for free. And then there are some other things that I really just wanted to touch on because I want to send people to this video instead of me having to constantly just say the same thing over and over again. Because here's the thing. Because of my herb book, I'm getting a lot of questions. And I mean, that's great for my herb book sales, right? Right. But it's not, it's very time consuming, and time is one thing that I absolutely do not have right now, especially with the baby. So it is my responsibility to answer these questions and send people in the right direction. So this is my easiest way of doing it without it consuming more of my time. It has already consumed a lot of my time. So for starters, let's talk about this fight. Hello, everybody who's coming in. I see you in the live chat. Let's talk about this in particular virus and what's happening. So what we're seeing happen in our country, in the United States specifically, we're seeing stores, ransacked, nothing on the shelves. Even here in Virginia, the governor has declared a state of emergency. We have a lot of cases. My friend Anne lives in Washington State. It started there about 3 weeks ago. So we're about 3 weeks behind the mass hysteria that's happening in Seattle right now. So keep that in mind. Yes, guys, if you would share this live stream, that would be amazingly awesome. Because I posted the wrong link earlier, and somehow I got on the HOA page and not this one. So keep that in mind. So what you're going to start seeing is a couple of weeks behind what everybody else is seeing. And Washington State is about 3 weeks, maybe like 6 days more like behind Italy. And so Italy is actually the country we're focusing on right now. They have a very high death rate. They have a lot of bad things happening. It's been confirmed that hospitals are overrun. They don't have room for people now, and they are literally just like in a state of war. They are choosing who lives and dies. We're not far away from that probably in the United States unless we can start quarantining now. We don't want to wait too long to do that. So a lot of people are saying, well, quarantine, is that necessary? Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, it's not the government telling you that you can't live your life. But if you think about it, it really is the government's responsibility in a country to not allow the spread of a virus to continue. They know it can simply be thwarted by just staying home. The unfortunate part of that is that it sucks because you have to work. What about people who have to work that can't work from home? So we're not going to touch on that today. Obviously, each person has a little bit of different thing, but I wanted to tell you, there's a lot of conversation about, the government's control and on all that. Basically, the government's doing their job. It is what it is. But it's true. Quarantine can help not spread the virus. So, we already do this during flu season. Our family does. We limit our exposure to large crowds, to restaurants, to events. We already do this during flu season because the flu has become such an epidemic in and of itself. So, it's not so bad. So I don't want that part to freak you out. There are a lot of people freaking out, getting toilet paper and things like that. And lots of jokes, and some of them are fun, and I like to laugh at them too. But the reality is that a lot of people don't know what's happening. And to be honest, epidemiologists don't really know what's happening either. It's such a new virus that we're still kind of studying it. So quarantine is not a bad thing, okay? The government's not telling you can't leave your house unless, of course, you have it. They really recommend you stay home for 2 weeks if you do have it or have been exposed to it. But they are telling you, listen, we're going to shut schools down. We're going to shut certain things down because we don't want to get like Italy. Do you know the other day Italy had, when I did the math, unless my math is extremely wrong, the other day Italy saw its worst death total climb, and they had a 6% death rate. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. So quarantine is not a bad thing, but it is inconvenient, extremely inconvenient. But it's kind of necessary to limit exposure to the virus. So yeah, if you're not already prepared as a person, especially as a homesteader, then you should be. And I hope that we take this opportunity to prepare ourselves after this, because this has now become a reality. This has never happened before in my lifetime. And I'm 32 years old. This has never happened before in my mom and dad's lifetime. And they're in their 50s and their 70s. So, sure, it might not happen for another 70 years, but why not be prepared now? So I hope that we're taking this as, at least seriously enough, to not be overwhelmed with being prepared and practicing preparedness, but to be aware of it, that this is a very real possibility now. See, that's what people are freaking out about. This has never happened before. We've never had to deal with this in our specific lifetime. And so it's a little scary. So I encourage you not to make fun of people because they're scared, because it's a valid fear. People just don't understand. They don't understand. And I mean, some people don't even know how to cook. So it's a valid fear, and just my suggestion is to encourage them to just live a different lifestyle from this point on. Now, let me pull up my list here before I get off track. So there's a few things. I mentioned the Franklin Institute of Wellness seminars. I'm going to mention it again because some of you were not in here. Franklin Institute of Wellness. Let me see. Institute of Wellness. I'm going to put this in the chat. They are hosting some free seminars. You get access to all of their webinars about this virus. And they are hosting a brand new one on Monday that I would encourage you to sign up for. If you want real scientific proof-based information, this is the place to go. So I've just linked that in that's really the main reason I came on here, but I have a lot of other stuff I want to talk about. Can you turn that music down, please? Thank you. All right. So on the same verge of stocking up. So in Virginia, there's not much left here. There's really not much left here. But if you were going to stock up, I would recommend that you go get, your random food things, canned good, dried beans, dried rice, things like that. I think the reality is that most of us have enough food in our pantries to last us 14 days. It might get a little bit bland, but I think most of us in real life that don't prepare have at least enough food in our house to last us 2 weeks. But I would, so basically I would just double that. Go to the grocery store, get your canned good, get non-perishable items, get your meats and stuff that you don't have. For homesteading, a lot of us already have that stuff. But I'm with this live stream, I can already tell I'm talking to two different sets of people because the people that follow me in real life. So if you are a homesteader, you probably already have a freezer full of meat, a pantry that's dwindling with canned goods. Now that we're coming into the spring season, you're going to be more pressed on fresh fruits, things like that, fresh food. And then you might be pressed on toilet paper. Things you can think about are if you have a family and little ones, or diapers, if you're not caught diapering, baby wipes, which isn't a big deal, but it is for some people. Things people might not think about, feminine hygiene, menstrual pads, if things like that. It's not just food that people are stocking up on, it's other things too. And so that's really important to think about. Don't go crazy, but be prepared, or have sustainable alternatives. Things like alcohol. Vodka, bourbon, things that could sterilize surfaces or sterilize your hands, or things that you could make tinctures out of, or sterilizing sprays out of. Those are things you should consider getting now. Because the reality is nobody knows when these things are going to be stocked up on again. And I assure you it's only going to get worse before it gets better. We've not reached the peak of this virus yet. Looks like peak from what I saw this morning, it could be anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, but they're thinking between in the next 4 to 5 months will reach peak, and then it'll suddenly start dropping off, which is what a typical virus does. We start getting herd immunity, and then it just starts dissipating very quickly. I see a lot of people spreading myths like, oh, it's going to leave as quickly as it came. Well, that's kind of what it does. Enough people get it. Enough people it's gone through enough of a population where people start building immunity, and things like that. So that's just what it does. There are other things, your family is different. So if it's almost too late to stock up on stuff, you can't get freeze-dried food online anymore, but there are some things on Amazon you can get. I do want to specifically talk about the importance of herbs. Okay, so I posted this on Instagram yesterday. I'm seeing a lot of businesses, a lot of herbalists talking about, oh, buy this herb, buy that herb, buy it from me, or whatever. And that's fine. But I think I really want to speak very strictly to the sustainability of herbalism. So just like the grocery store shelves are being stripped of toilet paper and food and things like that, we are seeing herbs stripped from shelves as well. But not only that, our fear as herbalists is that, things are starting to bloom, things are starting to come up, and we fear that maybe people are going to start foraging this spring for these certain items that are local to them and ripping out our herbs that are wild crafted, which is bad. We could see a shortage in that for years to come. That could be detrimental to us for years to come. So, Junior, don't answer that. If you are an herbalist, I recommend that you preach sustainable herbalism. So obviously that doesn't help us right now. We need to have things on hand. And so, but unfortunately things are running out. Elderberries, don't even think about buying them. Just don't even fool with it. And if you do find them, they're jacked up on price from a third-party company. It's absolutely insane. Astragalus is getting to that point as well. As people mentioned, essential oil companies are running out of essential oils. There are just a lot of, my phone is going to ring off the hook today. A lot of different things. What else? I wanted to, if you are looking for herbs, Frontier Company does have them still, and Star West Botanical does have herbs. You can get rose hips still. There is some astragalus left, and there is another one that I saw. Oh, olive leaf they still have left. They just don't have elderberry, so you can check those out. But we encourage you to purchase plants this year that will help out our herb system for the years to come. So that was all I wanted to say about that. Sorry, I got sidetracked with the phone ringing twice. Two different people at the same time. The elderberry cytokine myth I wanted to touch on real quick. There's this myth going around about not to take elderberry syrup, not to take elderberries because it's going to produce this cytokine storm that happened with the Spanish flu, blah, 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 blah. I want to read something to you if I can find it. It might have been taken down. Let's see. From Stephen Bunner, which is he's an herbalist. I meant to share this on my page, but I haven't shared it yet. He has basically said it the easiest way I can tell you. So as with me, he keeps getting emails and Facebook messages about how elderberry can increase cytokine storms. It raises TNF, blah, 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 all this stuff. So listen, so elderberry has this unique capabilities so if you don't know what I'm talking about, so what people are saying is people are dying from the virus because of they're getting pneumonia. So cytokine can produce oxidation in your lungs, which is basically a really bad inflammation, and it comes along with pneumonia and respiratory illnesses. There are herbs that can heighten those cytokines, but sending you into this cytokine storm is very, very rare. The difference, though, with elderberry is that elderberry, I might not even have to read this to you. Elderberry, it actually regulates your cytokines. So if your cytokines are too high, it helps bring them down. If they're too low, it helps raise them. So it's actually a regulator. What happened is an herbalist shared an article about cytokines and how elderberry has the ability to raise them, but she didn't give the entire story that elderberry also has the ability to bring them down. And so it created mass hysteria in the natural living community. And so elderberry, let's see, now people are messaging me on Facebook. This has been my week and a half. It's a cytokine modulator is what Stephen is saying. It modulates inflammation. If it's too high, it lowers it. If it's too low, it raises it. It is fine to use elderberry for viral infections of any kind. And so when you see this myth on Facebook, debunk it for people, okay? It's the only way that we can get rid of fake news. I'm going to use that term, fake news. Samantha, I absolutely, my cell phone's ringing. I absolutely recommend Mullein for respiratory. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Rose. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Cytokines. My husband has pulmonary hypertension. I've been making elderberry syrup for about 2 months. So I'm trying to keep taking it. Yep. Yes. Keep taking it. Absolutely. Yeah. So how do you debunk it? Well, okay. So I'm going to try to find a link, but that's basically what you say to debunk it. Comment on things saying, listen, elderberry actually is a regulator of cytokines. So it, like I just said, if it's too high, it lowers your cytokines. If it's too low, it raises your cytokines. So something as simple as that. I'm going to try to find a article for you that someone else posted that was really, really good from another herbalist. I may have actually shared it on my page. Let me see if I grabbed it real quick. Bear with me. It's easier for me to put it in the chat than it is the description. Let's see if I just bear with me, guys. Trying to find it. I will have to go back and find it. It's too far down my page. But when I do, I'll come back and try to link it in the description, and you can link that article in there. It's a really great article. I want people to read a lot. What else were we going to talk about? Talked about cytokine, talked about herb shortage. Franklin Institute of Wellness. Once again, sign up for that Franklin Institute of Wellness webinar that's coming up on Monday. Dr. Jessie Hawkins is an amazing doctor, an amazing herbalist. She's who I studied under and continue to study under, and she is all about scientific, evidence-based approaches. That means we demyth a lot of the pseudoscience that says certain things, certain herbs cure certain things. They don't. We'll even flat out say, no, don't take these herbs because they don't do that. So she's evidence-based approach to herbalism that I really recommend that you sign up for that webinar. If you can go through the chat and find the link. The final thing I want to speak to is the importance of this virus and epidemiologists. And I am going to throw up a link if I can grab it real quick. So I'm not like a huge Joe Rogan follower. Let's see, Rogan video. I'm going to throw up a link in the chat real quick. But Joe Rogan had a interview with epidemiologist Michael Osterholm, and he is a pretty spectacular epidemiologist. And when we have issues like this, we need to listen to the epidemiologists, not NBC, not Fox, not anybody like that, not your friend on Google who instantly became a doctor overnight. Take the video as you will. I don't agree with the politicalness of some of it. When I speak of politicalness, I mean their opinions on things that aren't to do with the virus, like vaccines, things like that. Disregard that. The rest of it is good information, really, really good information. He talks about how the virus started, how the virus works, how epidemiologists are trying to track it, why it's important to quarantine, why, what you can do. It's just good, solid information. It's a little bit long. It's about an hour and a half long, I think. Yeah, hour and a half long. Watch it on fast speed, but watch it. Share it. It's solid information. We really need to listen to the people that are studying the virus, which are epidemiologists, in order to not create mass hysteria, because they're not creating mass hysteria. They're just presenting the facts, and they're saying, listen, you're probably going to be okay. Okay. That's the reality of it all. You're probably going to be okay. But there are some people who won't be okay, and that's people with secondary conditions and elderly, but it's not just the elderly. I want to demyth that too. Yes, a lot of the elderly are passing. They're the ones who see the death rate. A lot of the Chinese people who died were smokers, so they had a secondary condition. But young people are dying too because they have a secondary condition. Thankfully, younger people have a better immune system, so they can bounce back from it a little bit more quickly. But it's just important to know that those are the two main issues: is your age, your immune system, well, 3 issues: age, immune system, and secondary conditions. So if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have heart disease, if you have lung issues, if you have asthma, allergies, diabetes is a big one. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I want to say to you, it's okay to be aware, but not to be consumed. Okay. But it's also important to not throw this off. Most of the people that are joking about it or making snide remarks about it are people who are not currently living it. They're not currently living in the situations that are bad, like in Washington State. Hopefully it doesn't get that bad throughout the country. And that's what our country is trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid having a situation like Italy, and can you blame them for that? Let me go on here. I haven't looked today, actually. There are websites that you can go to see, the death toll and maps and things like that. Let's see. Let me go on here and look real quick. Just bear with me, and I'll try to link it to the one that I've been following. Now watch, they've probably taken it down. Let's look and see here. People keep saying it's fine, just like the flu, but yeah. I mean, we avoid the flu too, and that's the thing. I mean, do I think that I'm gonna die if I get the flu? I mean, no, not necessarily. But I don't want to get sick either, And so when our oldest son was little, he had asthma. And so we avoided the flu as much as possible. I can't find it anymore. I guess they took it down. The one that I was following. I'll try to link it in here when I come back. But we still avoid the flu. We don't go to restaurants. We have limited contact with people during flu season. The flu has just morphed into something so crazy now, different than what it used to be. And so we avoid it. And so just like the flu, we're going to try to avoid this too. That means doing grocery store pickup instead of going into the grocery store. We don't really need to go to the grocery store at this point. I mean, that's a good place to be. We don't go to events. We don't go to church. Sorry. I mean, we've not been going to church. We don't go to church during flu season either. Especially with littles. I've been using elderberry and Charlotte's root soup today. It caused me. Okay, that's what we just talked about, Mandy. It's a myth, complete and total myth. Elderberry regulates cytokines. It does not cause cytokine storms. Other herbs could, but elderberry does not. So if your cytokines in your lungs is too high, it'll bring it down. If they're too low, it'll bring them up. So that's a complete and total myth, and we need to debunk that. So like I said, when you see it, debunk it, because the amount of fake news going around about herbs, that's my number one question. My phone rings. I get voicemails. I get emails. I get Facebook messages. That is the number one question I'm getting is, how am I going to take my elderberry if it's going to cause issue? It's not. Keep taking it. Keep taking it because it boosts your immune system. So do you guys have any questions for me? I've touched on basically everything I think I wanted to touch on for the most part. There's the myth of, okay, so what do you need to do? Joy's been talking about things you need to do. Stay calm as much as possible. Don't stress out. Stress highly weakens the immune system. Just calm, be still. After this live stream, turn the TV off, turn the computer off, turn your phone off, tell people to stop calling you, go outside. It's a beautiful day here in Virginia. It is 70 degrees. Go outside, take a walk, enjoy your chickens, get your garden going, make elderberry syrup if you need to. Turn it off because it's going to be there tomorrow. So de-stress is the first thing. If you've not already started living a healthy lifestyle, do it now. It's never too late. Start eating more organically, start eating more fruits and vegetables, ditch the processed stuff. You need to be healthy to fight a virus off like this. If you are obese, y'all, today's the day to start losing weight. I'm considered obese to the modern American standard. You see this? I'm obese. I need to lose weight. I did just have a baby 8 months ago, but let's lose weight. We can do this together. You've been pretty chill. That's good, Rose. You've been pretty chill. And, do things to boost your immune system. Wash your hands. Take hand sanitizer with you everywhere. Limit your exposure to people. Do not take your kids to the Chick-fil-A play place where kids are licking windows and snotting everywhere. Schools are starting to close down. Great. Keep your kids home. Don't take them to the park. Don't take them to Chuck E. Cheese. Stay home. Enjoy this time with your family. Try not to stress about your job. Things like that. Slow down. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's nothing. It's just like the flu. It's an overreaction. It's not. It's not. Take it seriously. Be smart about it. But, don't be consumed by it is all I want to say about that. I think that's it. All of Spain in complete lockdown. No schools, not allowed to go out, just garden only. Pharmacy, supermarkets open. Yeah. It's happening. I mean, it's happening. So whether we like it or not, this is what's going to happen. And the only thing we can do is write it out and encourage others to live a better lifestyle. Encourage yourself to live a better lifestyle. If you're just joining, go back and watch the beginning of this video. I'm going to try to come back and link in the description, but I've got a baby that's sleepy and he's my first priority, so I'm going to get to him. And lots of information in this video. If you're just joining, you can go back and watch. The death toll continues to rise. We have a lot of people that have said it's no different than the flu. It is. The flu death rate is 0.1%. The coronavirus death rate is almost at 4%. The other day, Italy saw a 6% death rate. So in that one day. So it's serious. It's happening. And just try to sift through the proper information and the mass hysteria. And let's remember to be kind and thoughtful of the people who are scared and terrified. If you are not scared and terrified, which I hope you're not, then come along beside them and say, hey, listen, I live a homesteading lifestyle. I know a better way. And, encourage them, pray for them, love on them, and just be a good human during this time. I think, especially on social media, we need to just take a step back, myself included. We are not going to demyth all of the bad things on there. We are not going to convince anyone of anything. But the more of us who do share our information, not our opinion, okay? Great that we all have opinions, but not all of our opinions are correct. Arm yourself with knowledge, good information. Recommend highly to sign up for that webinar Monday through the Franklin Institute of Wellness. It is completely 100% free. It is free, evidence, scientific-based information. Sign up for it and then share it. So I am glad that you guys joined me. I hope that you share this video, share the heck out of it, so that people will my prayer for everyone is peace. I want everyone to have peace, but I want everyone to be smart and be aware, and stop sharing bad information is the thing. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I pray for lots of blessings and health and peace that come your way. And if you have any questions, you can most certainly ask me in the comments of this video. That way we can kind of keep it all together. For now, I am, Willow Creek Homestead, going to go squish my baby and get him in bed and get him a nap and live a normal everyday life. So, all right, guys, have a great day and happy homesteading.